Confidence is one of the most attractive of human traits. We are attracted to confident people for the same reasons why we are attracted to people who are successful. We vicariously live our lives through these people, and because they exhibit a lot of the traits that we wished we had. This is one of the reasons why we follow people who are successful, especially in this day and age of social media. It's so easy to pick and choose who these people are. When they display this grand life, these grandiose personalities and, exuberance and opulence and all kinds of other things that represent success and which are an indicator of confidence, we follow them. And it's for the same reasons why we get so angry with them when they fail or when they do the things which are not so attractive. It's one of the reasons why we're so hard on them when they exhibit humanity that we don't want to see in them, when they exhibit weaknesses that we don't want to see in them, when they get involved in scandals which remind us that they are just as human as we are. We get angry because they exhibit a lot of the things that we don't want to see in us, that we don't like in us. So we follow and we are attracted to confident people for that same reason. Confidence is a very attractive of human traits. And so if you are in any space where you are selling products or in any space where you are wanting to present a service, confidence is one of those necessary and non-negotiable of human traits. You have to be confident. Like for me as a speaker, one of the a lot of the times where I'm not confident is when I don't know, for example, what I want to say. Like I just hesitated there. I was trying to put together my words in such a way that I can be able to, present well what I'm trying to say. And which then gives me to the first point about what confidence is. But before I go into that, I want to just welcome you again to the Mindset Talk. Mindset Talk is a show that is based on a framework that I've developed that I call Mindset Solutions, which helps people to understand what are mindsets, how do they form, what is the function of mindsets in our lives, and how can you best create the type of mindsets that you need for the life that you are wanting to live. The one of the most important factors that can help you to become confident is you have to know what you are talking about. If you are in a particular field of operation, the better that you know what you're dealing with, what you're working with, the occupation, if you're selling a product, the better that you know its features, the better you are able to explain its benefits to your clients. The better you know how it functions, the better you are able to show how it can make the clients' lives easier. And so product knowledge is extremely important to the confidence of a salesperson, for example. One other thing about factor about confidence is you have to know how to observe, leverage the power of observing. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times that mindsets are forming all the time, and they are happening. They are forming whilst we are not aware, because we have a cognitive faculty that is able to take in information whilst we're not deliberate in taking it in, which helps with the process of learning. And in our cognitive faculty, through the eyes, through the five senses, we have the ability to observe. Observation is one of the primary ways that we are able to learn. And so in order for you to be able to be confident, you have to learn and to practice the gift or the ability of observation, looking around to see how people interact with the environment, looking around to see how events impact people in their lives, listening to how people speak and how they express their emotions. It's important because it is all part of being able to build a knowledge that is necessary for you, especially if you're in the business of people. Whether you be a teacher, whether it be that you are a manager, whether it be that you are trying to get into a position of leadership, whether it be that you're running your own business as an entrepreneur, it cannot be overstated how important it is for you to learn the art of observation and leverage the power of observation and integrate that into your skill set in the way that you're going about doing your business. As a pastor, as a counselor, as a mindset coach, and also as a fitness coach, this is very, very important to me. Not only knowing what are the necessary muscles, how do you exercise the certain muscles, or how do you move for certain sports, or how do you handle certain life events. The only way that, the one way that you are able to apply that knowledge is through observation. When you understand and you can observe how people function, you are able then to apply your knowledge in such a way that it is beneficial to people around you, and it is beneficial to you as a person that is offering a product, or as a person that is trying to express maybe concern. Let's say you're in a situation of conflict. You're trying to explain what you mean. When you don't listen very well, you don't develop your communication skill very well. When you don't know, teach yourself how to communicate, you have difficulty communicating some of the important points, especially in a situation of conflict. So the power of observation is very, very important in helping us to be confident, or the skill of observation. I was just thinking about that today as I was having a meeting on how to go forward in this business. I was talking to one of the leading international speakers in this country. I managed to, through a friend, I managed to secure an appointment. I'm not able to mention his name because I didn't ask for permission to talk about it in that way. That's why I'm kind of being anonymous about the names. But as I was sitting there with him, asking him questions about how to go about penetrating the industry and presenting my mindset solutions framework to individuals and to companies, he really pointed out this fact for me, or rather, he helped me to seal it as an important point, even as part of my solution. Learning to observe, and how the ability that we have as human beings to observe can help us in becoming confident. And confidence is so important to draw people to, not only to what you're saying, but to draw them to you first before you can draw them to what you have to say. And this is the challenge most of the time when you're in sales. How do you present yourself in such a way that people can be able to sit through your presentation and eventually be able to buy what you're selling? It's difficult to sell without confidence. It is difficult for people to buy into what you're selling without confidence, because confidence requires expert knowledge. It requires more than just the basic knowledge of explaining features of a product or features of something, but you need to be able to show how the information that you've got can benefit people. So confidence attracts people, because people live vicariously through each other. I was listening to that and they said we're drawn to people for a couple of reasons. One of the first reasons why we're drawn to people is because they have the things in common with us. They exhibit the same things that we have, that we can see in ourselves, and therefore we are drawn to them, the things we like about ourselves. Secondly, people who exhibit the things we desire to have, when they exhibit the human traits that we desire to have. Now, in a world that is so crippled with lack of confidence, with shame, with invalidation of weak human traits, a lot of people know what it's like to be put down, to be restricted in their thinking by the lack of self-belief in themselves. And as a result, then therefore they're drawn, they're attracted to confident people because they can live vicariously through them. This is one of the reasons why we celebrate, especially those people who have things with us in common. When they succeed in life, we say they're representing us, because then we can live through the euphoria of their successes. We can experience that. That's for the same reason, when the people have studied the emotions that people go through at a soccer match, when they're watching the display of excellence of the athletes, and when they score that goal, that the audience actually, they go through the same euphoria as the athletes, as if they scored the goal themselves. And this is why people are attract to confident people. And in mindsets, it's important for us to understand where confidence fits in. And one of the ways that you can be able to build confidence is, there are many ways, is if you are to know what you're talking about. If you want to address an issue, rehearse what you're going to say first. Say it a couple of times to yourself. I like to write down and to read, and then reread it, and then rewrite it again, and then reread it again, and listen to it a couple of times, so that I can be comfortable with what I want to say. Unfortunately for this podcast, I just thought about it and I decided to do it on a whim, so I didn't really do much practicing of the content, hence a couple of hiccups in the flow of the podcast today. But I suppose at the same time, it is actually working very well to complement what I'm saying and to actually maybe bring it to light even more. What happens when you're not very confident, when you don't know what you're talking about, when you haven't rehearsed it, when you haven't structured it in such a way that it can help you to present it with concision, with precision, with accuracy, straight to the point. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful somehow. Again, my name is Jabu Zwane, mindset coach with Mindset Talk, a podcast that is based on my framework that's called Mindset Solutions, which aims to help you to understand what are mindsets, how do they function, how do they form, and how can you best create the kind of mindsets you need for the life that you're trying to live. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.